Hi, my name is Ruhi Deshpande. My mentor is Dr. Shanae Martin, and I'm presenting from Plano, Texas. So, in my analysis, I've looked at the relationship between intermittent fasting and mental and cognitive health in the elderly. This specifically hits close to home as I grew up in a multi-generational family where I firsthand got to see how the effects of aging have impacted the lives of my elderly grandparents. In addition, I'm a volunteer at a memory care center, so I get to see how dementia and Alzheimer's have deterred the quality of life of many of the patients. In addition, I come from a very health conscious family, so this is where the intersection of intermittent fasting comes from, as many of my family members have adopted this lifestyle trait. So, what is the problem? The population is aging. As of 2050, the elderly population is expected to more than double. Thus, we have an entire new group of people, all with the issues that come along with aging. For example, neurodegenerative diseases, heart disease, decline in cognitive functions such as learning and memory, and poor mental health have all contributed to a huge decline in quality of life, which will soon affect a huge number of Americans in their daily lives. Thus, it is imperative that we look to lifestyle interventions to help the burden of these of the issues that many will now face. So, what exactly is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is a lifestyle choice that consists of eating for usually an on and an off period, typically restricting caloric intake for a period of time. There are various types of intermittent fasting, such as time restricted eating, alternative day fasting, and eat stop eat method, with even religious fastings coming in the mixture. One of the most important parts of intermittent fasting is calorie restriction, as many of the metabolic changes that happen because of intermittent fasting are because of the restricted calories. Metabolic changes such as fatty acid oxidation and the release of fatty acid derived ketones, which have been shown to improve longevity of mitochondrial function and of neuronal function. In addition, the reduced oxidative stress, inflammation, and autophagy in the brain, as well as improved nutrient delivery, have all resulted in the improvement in memory as well as cognition, and has also shown to slow neurodegenerative diseases. So what is the actual impact in people's day-to-day lives of these small changes in the body? So 14% of people over 60 live with a mental disorder. More often than not, this is either a form of anxiety or depression, often major depressive disorder. And although mental health disorders are often treated with pharmaceutical or therapeutic interventions, it's important to acknowledge that for many elderly people, these things are not accessible as they may have mobility issues, or it in in might not be an affordable option for them. Thus, many trials have been done on specifically rats on the effect of caloric restriction and time restricted eating on the HPA axis, the part of the brain that is responsible for a stress response. In addition, many have studied Ramadan like type fasting and seen how that has shown to people reporting improvements in mood, and fatigue. 40%. 40% is the amount of us that will be affected by some sort of memory loss after the age of 60. And although cognitive health is a very broad term and generally includes the person's ability to learn, think, and remember clearly, it is something that will be on the decline for all of us as a result of natural aging. Thus, it is important to keep it as sharp as possible in order to maintain a quality of life. Many studies done on rhesus monkeys and mice that have imitated Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease shown that when their calories restricted and they follow an intermittent fasting diet, that there have been improvements in maze memory tests and as well as learning tests. Thus, it is important to see that there is a benefit, and many studies have shown to have there to be a positive relationship between intermittent fasting and calorie restriction and improvements in mental and cognitive health. So um what is the future of this field? I believe that there hasn't been enough studying on the overlap. People have studied intermittent fasting and cognitive mental health separately, but as the two niche things need to be studied, there needs to be a more broad approach where now majority of the studies being done are on animals and they're short term. I believe that a long-term human studies would be the most beneficial way to accurately assess quality of life. And a study that encompasses all individuals of people, especially elderly, young, and middle age, to see that progression, as well as both genders, as oftentimes in these studies, the females are often ignored when they in fact face the biggest risk of mental health issues. Thus, this more inclusive and also study that studies the longevity of these results is the future of this field. Thank you.